hope it isn't Sam.
No, God, no, fuck him.
I mean, considering...
Is it my old friend?
It's mom.
So, listen, so, like,
Right.
to the way that, like, people in Twitch politics or, like, Samantha or Sam, like, to the way that they reacted with these things, I'm not here to, like, defend that, though I think, like, if somebody feels as though somebody's being blatantly racist towards them and...
Like, he was milking that shit for so fucking long.
Sure.
I'm sorry, but he was milking it. I think at one point he even admitted he was milking it. So, like, this guy...
Sure, but if he thinks that you're allowing that sort of rhetoric on your platform irresponsibly, like, his next move would probably be to milk it, right?
Rhetoric like asking about his necklace?
Yeah, it was
Okay,
an insignificant episode he
stop
had
doing
on
that,
our
Neil.
show.
See, and this is what he keeps doing, is I laid out a whole lot of information. I laid out a lot of information there, but he keeps focusing on just the necklace. The necklace was the end. That was the cherry on top of everything. Fair enough, but I don't see the connection with pointing out Jewish power and necessarily wanting to put them in camps. Okay. Let's just do this real quick, okay? If you are seriously asking questions and you don't know why Jewish people are in power or why they have all of this control, you haven't looked very hard. You don't actually want to know what the information is. The information is out there. Most people know what the answers are. Most people know the history and why this is worked out this way. But if you choose to only listen to a specific group of people and keep your worldview very narrow so that they're the only ones that you listen to, because they're going to tell you everybody else is out to get you. And so you can't listen to anybody else. In the media and CNN and everybody else, they all have this agenda. They all have these plans. And so you can't hear anything they have to say. Do they all have agendas? Yeah. Are they all working together? No. They all have their own agendas. They all have their own plans. They all have their own things that they want to accomplish, just like the rest of us. You can find the information for why Jews are in the positions that they're in. The answer is Jews were looked down upon by the Catholic Church because they killed Christ. And because Jews hated Christians for a very long time when Christians were taking their holy book and diverging. They said, nope, we're taking the same book, we're taking the same information, but we're going a completely different direction than you guys because we believe that Jesus is the Messiah. Obviously, Jews who don't believe that they're correct are going to be upset about this. That makes perfect sense. I think we can all rationalize this and say, like, yeah, of course, Jews are going to be upset about this sort of thing. Okay, fine. So they move on. But eventually, because Jews become more and more the minority and Christians become more and more the majority, Christians are spiteful and then start to look down on Jews and be hateful towards Jews. And the Catholic Church does not like the Jews. So eventually, the Catholic Church rules that it is dirty to handle money, to be in banking, to be in loaning, these sorts of things. This is all a very dirty business. This is not something that a Christian should touch with their clean hands. Okay? So, who should do it? Who should do the dirty job? Who should take care of the dirty business? The dirty rat Jews, of course. They're all, like, they are the worst of the worst. They will happily take care of our crappiest jobs. So we give them the banking. We give them the loaning. We give them this stuff. They're in charge of it now. Okay? Well, over time, like, they pass these things down through their family. Only Jews are allowed to loan. Only Jews are allowed to handle money. Only Jews are allowed to be in control of banking. So they do this stuff, and over time, Jews, because they know that they are only getting these things because of racism, because of anti-Semitism, they are also spiteful with this. And they're like, yo, like, if they're going to give this to us and we're going to make a lot of money off of it, cool. We're not going to let any of them get in on this. This is bullcrap. They're going to treat us like crap and then act as though we're less than everybody else. Fine. You get none of this. So eventually, when the Catholic Church doesn't think that handling money is a dirty business anymore, too late. Jews already control it. Jews are already in charge of loaning and banking and those sorts of things. Now, they have their money or their hands on everybody's cash, and they are in one of the most profitable businesses that grew very quickly. Catholic Church had no clue that the banking was going to grow that way or that it was going to be that important. Normally, banking was just for very rich people who had so much money they couldn't hold on to it all, so they had to take it somewhere else for somebody else to hold on to it. or they needed large sums of cash transferred from one place to another by a guarded horse and carriage, right? Like these things were, banks were for very rich people. Everybody else didn't need them. But eventually, everybody else wanted them. Everybody else needed them. And over time, everybody had a bank account, and Jews were in on all of that and made a lot of money off of it. So they ended up becoming the elites. And like most people's names are based from, like, when we came up with surnames or like last names, most people's names were based on the job they had, right? So like if you're Smith, it's because you are a smith. You're building swords and you're bending iron and all of these sorts of things. If your name is Hunter, well, it's because you're going out and you're shooting deer and you're making venison and like killing the rabbits and stuff. Like you were a hunter, so your last name is now Hunter. Well, if you were Jewish, your business was in banking. You handled lots of gold. You handled lots of silver. You handled lots of coins. So your names became things like Goldstein or Silver or things like that. If you see names with like some sort of like metal or expensive jewelry, the name is almost always going to be Jewish because this was the business that they were in. That is what they handled. And so that is how they made their last names. So this is why Jewish people are disproportionately in the top 1% or within the elites. They are disproportionately a controlling power. Are they all working together? No. There's absolutely no like evidence that they're all working together. There's absolutely no reason to believe that they're all working together. These flies are driving me insane. But like we have small little bits of information that gives us more questions. And so we think, well, this is kind of strange. I mean, all like Jewish are a small percentage of people, but like when it comes to the elites, like they're like 15, 16% of the elites, and they're only like what, less than 2% of the world. How can they be that disproportionately within the elites? Like how can they be that much of the ruling class? That's strange. That's weird. Leads to all of these questions that people have about it. The answers are there. I just gave you the answer, but we have the answers. People just don't look for them because they don't really want to know the answer. They're not really asking questions. They are signaling an ideology. They are signaling something specific. Like it's that simple.